Rock and roll. All right. So, we're launching a cool little series here with SmartFit where I'm going out and reaching out to people that, I'm influenced by, who motivates me, who just is really a pioneer in many different spaces. People, athletes, entrepreneurs, also individuals that use SmartFit dumbbells, which I know you do use. And I just want the world to know more about you and what makes you tick and how you've been so phenomenal in this space for many years. How much I look up to you on many, many different levels. It's kind of cool now that we're partners in a lot of the same companies together, which, in 2015 or 16 when we met, who would ever know that we would get this far together doing many of the same things we both love. So why don't we just introduce everyone now, who you are, where do you reside, what you do, and what makes you tick a little bit.
Cool. Yeah. So Eric Hinman, I live in Denver, Colorado. I'm from upstate New York, a small town called Pulaski. Grew up snowmobiling and salmon fishing. And I got into weightlifting in college, but purely for aesthetic reasons, just to have, good looking biceps and a good chest. Never did legs, never did any kind of deadlifts or functional movements. And then after college, I started an insurance business, and I was driving 50,000 miles a year, sitting in a car, eating shitty food. And in my mid to late 20s, I hired a personal trainer to get back into shape. I was, 200, 210 pounds, definitely had a little belly on me. And through the personal trainer, going 5 days a week, 30 minutes in the morning, doing CrossFit type workouts, I got back into really good aesthetic looking shape. And through that, I started running again. I had a running background from high school. I ran cross country and track. I was a decent runner. And I realized that looking fit doesn't mean you are fit. When I started running, I was hammered after doing 5-6 mile runs, so beat up, very slow compared to how fast I could run in high school. So, I started doing more cardio again, longer endurance stuff. And, through that, I got into triathlon. And that was 2009. I did my first sprint triathlon. 2010, I did my first Olympic distance triathlon. 2011, I did my first half Ironman. 2012, first full Ironman. And then 2013, 2014, qualified for the World Championships in Kona. So, it was a 5-year process in triathlon to get really good at triathlon. But, it was 5 years before that also of, doing CrossFit type movements and, running and building durability. And then after my Ironman days, for me now, it's more about just feeling good day in and day out. I figured out how much volume I can do each day when it comes to strength training, anaerobic conditioning, aerobic conditioning, and, do my recovery routine, which I'm sure we'll chat about, and then back it up again the next day just to be in flow state. I'm not looking to, compete anymore per se. I'm 41. So I'm just looking to, feel good day in and day out. And, still I want to be the best version of myself, and I want to, see what my mind and body are capable of. But, through those triathlon years, I feel like I really was able to push my limits, which translated to so many other things.
There's a lot to uncover there. So I think for, people just getting started with fitness, or people who might be doing it for a couple of years, I think the biggest thing that, when I see you training every day and go on your page every day and just check you out, because I thoroughly enjoy watching what you do, I think it's really evident that you're not worried about the destination. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what really screams out about your Instagram so much, is that you're not chasing something that's going to be that you think is an end goal, because as we know, there really is no end goal with all of this fitness, right?
Yeah.
For you, it's just the consistency and the journey of it, of how every single day, what you're doing on the recovery side, on the fitness side, on just the lifestyle side of things, what your life is really about. It's not where you want to go or how you need to get there. It's just, this is what you're just doing every day. And wherever you end up is where you end up. And it seems that you have control of that, because you're doing a really good job of touching all of the pillars that make you Eric and make you happy. So
Mhm.
maybe we could just touch on that right now, that I feel like for you, it's not about the destination.
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. It is no longer about the destination. But I mean, that was definitely a transitionary period from like Ironman. There was a destination. Like I was super focused on getting to Kona, and I do feel like if you're trying to achieve something, which I think all of us are at some points in our life, like you do need to know what that destination is. But through reaching that destination, I realized that it was more the journey that I enjoyed than the destination. Like racing Kona was magical. The people I got to meet were awesome, but that's one day of my life. And like if you don't enjoy the entire process, it's just not sustainable. I mean, I saw your Instagram post today about fad diets and savage mindset. And like I feel like all of that stuff is good for a small window of time, just to like know that you can get to where you want to go. You can set these crazy milestones. You can run 50 miles, 100 miles and achieve it. But ultimately, I don't know that that is sustainable long term. It's really making it a lifestyle and enjoying the process day in and day out that is, that's going to yield the best results over time. And through that, like I changed environments. I moved from Syracuse to Denver to be in an environment where the sun is out all the time and it just begs you to be outside. And, my friend group here, like I'm never pressured to go out and drink. Like, I'm pressured to go mountain biking and, work out and do ice baths and, sauna sessions. So that's my friend group here. So like through lifestyle, I fell into this environment that, then yielded the friends I have, which is just a major snowball effect where like, it's just on autopilot now. It's like so easy to live the life I live without thinking like, oh, I got to like check this box today for wellness. It's just like everything is based around wellness now.
Well, I'm happy you brought up my post today, because I intentionally had that post about the ice baths and the sauna and stuff like that, because I know that's so important to how you live your life.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that like if people want to get into fitness or take their fitness level or take their fitness to another level, that they necessarily have to do what basically you do on the day to day. But that works for you.
Yeah.
And you really are a student of that. So let's touch on that a little bit, because if someone does go to your IG page and see how you do live your life, it could be a little overwhelming for them, because it's like, wow, this guy has so many different tools, so many different, I guess, avenues of recovery and stuff like that. But some people might be like, wow, like I might not be built for all that. I might not want all of that. But it works for you. So what advice would you have for someone who just wants to take another step up in taking care of themselves, but might not have the dedication that you have to all the things that make you the best person probably in this space that I really know?
Yeah. I mean, like this goes back now to like 2008 of training, pretty hard like an athlete. And, every single year, especially through the Ironman years, so 2010 to 2015, I picked something to focus on to make habitual. So, one year it was purposeful training, which we've talked about a lot, like understanding like aerobic heart rate training and, the purpose behind all of your workouts based on, where you want to go with your training regimen. And then one year was deep sleep, and one year was diet and supplements, and, one year was recovery, and one year was, stillness and meditation. And like every year it's just building blocks. So, it is easy to overwhelm yourself when you see someone that you conceivably think has it all together, even though none of us do. We're still all like students. And yeah, I would say like, pick one, each year to focus on over a 5-year period. And after that 5 years, like, holy shit, you'll have come a pretty long way. And if you do it that way, they just all become, habitual. It's habit stacking. So, that's what it's become for me. And like you, like, this is my life. Like, my previous businesses are on autopilot, and now like, my job is creating content for health and wellness brands. So, not only do I enjoy doing it, but I'm also able to monetize it where, a lot of other people, they have a job outside of their exercise routine, they have a family and kids. So, it's like, what amount of time can you carve out for this? I do think it's super important to, pick some of these, because I think it's going to make everyone a better, husband, a better father, a better business partner, better employee, whatever it is, by, practicing some of these self-care routines. So carving out time for yourself, for self-care, is super important, but, doing it to the extent that we may do it. No, it's not necessary to live a life of health and wellness. I mean, I'm training 2 to 3 hours a day and I'm 41 years old. So, doing a lot of recovery protocols is crucial for me being able to, back that up and do it again the next day. So, and also, what is accessible to you? Like, I'm in Colorado, I have cold streams all around me. I have friends that have saunas and ice baths. If you don't have that, then a cold shower or a hot Epsom salt bath, or, joining some kind of infrared sauna studio, or finding a gym that has a sauna. What works with your schedule? What is accessible to you? Those are the important things. Like, what can you back up day in and day out that you enjoy doing? And, also combining it with other things. Like, a lot of it for me is like having friends doing it with me and having great conversations with them, and, inviting entrepreneurs here and other athletes here and connecting with them in the sauna and through workouts. So, I kind of multitask without multitasking. That's where a lot of my good conversations and opportunities come from as well.
It's really funny, behind your back, I call you Kobe. You probably don't know this. And the reason why I call you Kobe, for Kobe Bryant, is because for years, he would be getting up and training from 4 to 6, and he'd be going back home and then training from, I would say, let's just say like 9 to 11, then going back home and training from maybe 2 to 4, and then 7 to 9. And his method on that was the consistency of how he did this year after year after year, that he knew it got to a point where he just became so much better than the rest of his opponents. And he didn't care what they did during the summer, because he's like, I've been doing this consistently for so many years on this regimen, that if this new guy came in or this old guy started to train more during the summer, it would take them years to catch up to me on that level. And I look at you like that, and I love it, because whenever someone talks about that they have a friend who's super fit, or a friend who does Ironman, or a friend who does this, I'm like, you guys, no, it's not possible. Go look at my boy Eric, because he is so light years ahead of so many people because of the consistent work that you've put in. Not saying that, again, people need to be as consistent and crazy as we are in certain things, and you're way more than I am, and I love that. But I think for people, it's just like, stick to something that you can do consistently, not something that you can just do consistently for 2 weeks. Anyone can do something like that, but stick with something that you could do for a year in anything that you want to do. It doesn't just necessarily have to be fitness. Anything you want to do, if you stick with that and continue to work and work and work, you're automatically going to elevate yourself from the opponents in anything that you're doing. Because of that, your body becomes conditioned, your mind becomes conditioned, you become hungry for more, and it just becomes your lifestyle.
Yeah, 100%. I'll piggyback on that with 2 things. So I like using the 15-minute rule of, you have to give yourself at least 15 minutes of doing anything before you can really drop into it. So running, for example, like even now, and I've run, tens of thousands of miles, like I still have to give myself at least 15 minutes of running sometimes to like really drop into it. Same thing with lifting, biking, whatever. Like the first 15 minutes is kind of like getting dropped into whatever you're doing. And, a lot of this stuff, it takes 1, 2, sometimes even 3 years to really reach a place of flow state with the activity. Like the Olympic lifting that I do. I mean, I wasn't able to snatch heavy weight overnight. Like I've been snatching since 2015, and 2015 to 2018, like they weren't pretty, but I stuck with it and finally got to a point where like everything started clicking. And now when I do some of those movements or go out for a run or go mountain biking, like I get into flow state pretty quick because I have enough skill within it, because I stuck with it long enough to reach that flow state and doing it. So, and that's, Kobe, all of these super successful people, like they're just in flow with what they're doing because they've like put blinders on with, I mean, in their case, very extreme examples, with the one thing that's all they think about, that's all they do. And yeah, that's why they get so good at it, because they're not really thinking about anything else. They don't have distractions.
Sure. Now, I know you have a bunch of toys that you play with in the gym, right? You have a bunch of equipment and everything. And you touched on how you travel and relocated. And I always see you either going to Moab. You still have your place in Moab and stuff?
I don't know. No, we ended up buying a place in Denver, and we backed out of that deal. So we're just here.
You're always traveling and going to different places. Why do you think the SmartFit dumbbells are the best dumbbells, I guess, to travel with if you're going on the road? Or even going from, I would say, maybe a friend's house to another friend's house, and you want to bring equipment. They're so reliable to travel with. And they're so reliable for all the different types of workouts that you could possibly do together. So just touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we traveled from Moab all the way to Florida with the SmartFit dumbbells, and worked out with them along the way. So for people unfamiliar, they go in 5-pound increments from 5 pounds all the way to 80 pounds, and you just twist the handle to increase by 5-pound increments on the dumbbells. So I mean, think about trying to carry a range of 5 to 80 pound dumbbells with you and traveling. Like, you can't do it. That's just so much weight and so much mass it's taking up. So that's what makes them super convenient to travel with. And there's a handy like carrying set that you place them on, a little rack that doesn't take up a ton of room. So yeah, awesome for travel, but also awesome for garage gyms. Like, that's what I use in my garage gym, which, it's a 2-car garage. I don't have a ton of space to fit a ton of gym equipment. So, again, having 5 to 80 pounds and 5-pound increments of dumbbells in a garage gym is incredible. And it only takes up, smaller than the size of a desk in my garage. Awesome.
Now, what type of, do you find that when you need to switch out between workouts or different weights, they're extremely durable? I find that whenever I was working out at a gym, or if I train with Jacob, that sometimes that they don't have the SmartFit dumbbells, they have the big block ones. It would take so long for us to change in between different weights, or if we have to go up or do a drop set or anything like that. I think that these are the most durable dumbbells, and it's easy to switch out weight, get back into a program. If you have a partner, you guys can jump back and forth, change weight. For me, these are the best in class, and they've held up for this past 2 years that I've been using them without breaking once. I don't know if you have any experience doing that with any of your like group workouts or anybody that you're working with, able to jump really quickly back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to change the weights without having a full set of 5 to 80 pound dumbbells. So yeah, if I'm doing 70s for bench and someone else wants to do 50s, you just place them back down in the rack. The other person goes in, twists the handles, and grabs out the 45s or 50s. So yeah, convenience is incredible. And I haven't used any of the other dumbbells that that change in weight. The other ones that I would use are the typical ones at a CrossFit gym, where they have lots of space and they got a full range of the dumbbells. But again, the home gym, they are like perfect use case scenario.
Perfect. Now, I love that you still think of yourself as a student of the game. I mean, I don't know how you still think of yourself as a student of the game, but what did you learn during High Rocks?
I love High Rocks. It's it's a blend of like CrossFit type training with the high intensity intervals on the workout. And, like it feels like running off the bike with the runs in between the workout stations, because it's just like compromised running. So yeah, I mean, the way I train, even though I'm not training specifically for High Rocks, it is kind of how you would want to train for High Rocks, where you have to be strong enough to move the heavy weight in the sled push, sled pull. You have to have enough body weight and mass to like pull pretty damn hard on the rower and the skier. You have to be moderately strong to do the sandbag lunge and the farmer's carry. And you need some durability to do those 100 wall balls at the end. And then the running is like, yeah, you need to be a pretty damn good runner, but not so much like, just a fast 5K or 10K or half marathon runner. It's more like you have to be a good compromised runner. So, are you running after doing air squats? Are you running after doing sled pushes? And for me, like, I have years of durability built up running off the bike from all my triathlon days. So, all of that durability running lends itself really well to high rocks. And, I like the body type that I can maintain for high rocks. Like I loved my Ironman days, but I weigh 185 now. I was 165 back then. I wasn't able to lift heavy weight. I was very fit in one capacity, aerobic fitness. I could go for 10 hours at the same heart rate pretty fast, but now I feel much more balanced, and I feel like high rocks lends itself well to being balanced with strength, anaerobic capacity, and aerobic capacity. And I mean, the time domain is awesome too. It's like running a fast 10K or half marathon, depending on how fast you are, but call it an hour to an hour and 10 minutes, and you're pretty close to red line that entire time.
So you guys placed second in your last competition, correct?
Yeah, I did doubles with Mike Moralia, came in second, and we have the championships in Vegas in 3 weeks. So both of us are just kind of ramping up the running a little bit more.
And it's the same exact workout, right?
Same workout every single time, yeah. So with the doubles, it is you can split the workout stations however you want. There's 8 workout stations: rowing, ski erg, sandbag carry or sandbag lunge, farmer's carry, ski erg, sled push, sled pull, wall balls. Those are the workout stations. And then in between each of those workout stations, you run 1,000 meters, and you have to do the runs together, and you have to like go into the workout stations together at the same time. So it honestly was just as hard as doing it individual, because you end up going harder on the workout stations individually because you have a little time to rest. So it's kind of like a CrossFit Metcon with the workout stations, where you each just hammer it, then rest a little bit. And then, yeah, you're running pretty fatigued, just like you would be doing in the individual portion. I think our time was like 54 minutes and 30 seconds. And my individual time was 1 hour and 3 minutes when I did it. So you end up going just like harder and a little less time.
And you both have to run at the same time?
Correct. Yeah, you run at the same time.
Wow. So that's for everyone who doesn't fully understand that. So you're running basically 2 laps plus 200 meters for every modality.
Correct. Yep. It's 8K total.
Wow, that's a lot. Well, best of luck there in Vegas. So how are you fueling right now? What are you up to? What are you eating? What does your day look like calorie wise? I don't think you count your calories, right?
I don't count my calories. No, I never really have. I mean, my diet's changed through the years. The last year or two, it's been heavier in protein and carbs than it has been in the past. In my triathlon years, it was a high fat diet, just teaching my body to burn fat for fuel. So, then it was a lot of big salads, avocado, nuts and seeds. I did eat, meat, fish, but very little red meat during those years. And the last year and a half, I've really upped the intake of red meat, chicken, fish, just like increasing my protein intake to put on some mass and some strength. So typical is building calories throughout the day. I usually start with a smaller breakfast, which is after my first workout. I do coffee with collagen in the morning. And then after that, I do a smoothie bowl or a smoothie after my morning workout. And then I go off on some kind of afternoon adventure, mountain biking, trail running, hiking. After that, I'll do either another smoothie, or I'll do like a salad with chicken and potatoes. And then at night is where I consume the majority of my calories. I'll have a couple burgers, potatoes, some kind of grilled or steamed veggies.
Yeah, I'm very similar in that sense too. Last summer when I got up to like 204, I was just eating every 3 hours, like as much food as I possibly could while lifting and running. And it worked out well, but I just found myself to be a little bit too heavy for my own liking, right? Like I literally had to get like new clothes and stuff. It was kind of weird. So now I'm very similar to you, where I'm not crushing calories during the day. I'm just, I guess, optimally eating just for fuel. And then at night is when I'll have my biggest meal during dinner. And that's, I mean, I'm still consuming protein every 3 hours, whether it's our Vital Protein shake or something like that. just to keep the protein going. Because as we know, that's the best way to build if you eat that much every 3 hours. And then at night, it's when I have a big steak or a couple burgers or a large salad with a ton of protein.
Yeah.
And I think that has allowed myself to really hit a good stride physique wise right now, where I like to be. I'm about 190. But it's pretty wild. And I don't know if you witness this or feel this, but like if I've, this morning I woke up, I was like 100 and maybe like 189. And I had to do a quick 10K just to get it out of the way because I have a race this weekend. And I came back, I was like 183. It's just wild how quickly my body fluctuates weight. But then right after this chat, I'm going to go eat and it'll go right back up. It's pretty wild. I don't know if you experience your body fluctuating with weight like that.
I mean, some of it probably is if it's hot and humid there, you're obviously sweating out a lot of water, and I'm assuming you drink a lot of water throughout the day. So that's probably a lot of it. Running for me is where I lose the most weight, all things considered. Like if right now my typical routine is an hour to an hour and a half of weight training in the morning, and then an hour and a half mountain bike ride in the afternoon. So I'm not running that much, but it's a lot of volume. It's 3 hours, but I'm able to maintain my weight pretty well. Whereas if I swapped out that mountain bike ride for an hour run every day, I would drop weight so fast. And, I think what that is, you're sending signals to your body to be light and fast when you're running often. Whereas when you're lifting heavy weight, you're sending signals to your body to be big and heavy, to move heavy weight. So I think that's some of it where, it's not just calories for calories when you're running versus doing something else. It's the signals you're sending to your body by running that are saying like, lose weight, be light and fast.
Awesome. So do you plan out your fitness, for like how you want to be in the next couple of years? Do you have like a 5-year plan or a 2-year plan of, okay, now I'm like really into high rocks, so I'm going to, try to be the best I can be in high rocks. Is there anything that you want to tap into that, or any other sports? Like I'm going to pick up tennis this summer at my country club here. I find, or pickleball or stuff like that. I just find that's going to be super fun. And it's just a different way for me to get fitness because, I'm human just like anyone, right? Like, you do get tired of certain things, right? You do get tired of lifting a little bit. You do get tired of running. Some runs I want to quit. Some runs I love. Like today was an amazing run. But if I feel like I add in another element to my fitness, it's going to really balance out my thought process on attacking each workout or the next workout. Is there anything that you want to take on or you're interested in that you've been seeing or reading on?
I mean, during my Ironman years, I was super focused on training for Ironman, and I did sprinkle in a bit of weight training then. I was doing CrossFit Metcons. I wasn't training like a CrossFit athlete doing the heavy weights or the gymnastics. But no, now it's more just I go on feel and I also go on season. Like I love mountain biking. So this time of year, I really shift a lot of my stuff to mountain biking as my primary focus. Whereas in the wintertime, it's much more weight training, being in the gym, indoor type training, and then, some winter hiking and winter trail running, again, just based on like the season and what I have access to. I don't really look that far away. When opportunities present themselves, one year I might want to do Leadville, like the mountain bike race. So, I'll ramp up the mountain biking, and, Vital got me involved in the high rocks, and I'm like, that sounds fun. So I just I train so that I can, really just focus on something for a couple months and be pretty good at it at all times of the year. But again, ultimately it's like, what do I enjoy doing? I don't care so much about, winning things or competing. It's more like, I just want to feel good day in and day out. I want to be outside doing stuff. And, I enjoy the strength training because it allows me to do a lot of the other stuff outside at a very high level.
What are your plans for the summer?
Road trips. I mean, that's kind of the way of life here in Colorado. So we'll be bouncing around to lots of different spots in Colorado, Utah, Arizona, mountain biking, hiking, paddleboarding. High Rocks is coming up, obviously, in 2 or 3 weeks. I think the season is done with High Rocks until like the fall, and then it starts up again. So I'll probably do some fall races, some individual races then. But no major plans. I do the Ultimate Hawaiian Trail Run every year in Kauai in September. I go there for a couple weeks, so we'll do that. But again, it's like all fun stuff. And it's the way I'm living my life every single day. I can just kind of focus for 4 to 6 weeks on whatever it is I want to do to kind of ramp up for it. If it's a competition or event.
Awesome. So last question, what advice do you have anyone who wants to live a life like Eric Hinman?
I mean, I think the first thing is, figuring out how to create freedom and flexibility for yourself. So, I was really fortunate early on that my father gave me an opportunity to build an insurance business that yielded residual income so that I could then kind of step away from the day-to-day grind and, start focusing on things that I was super passionate about. And I was able to find wellness and, what I kind of feel like my purpose is in life by having that freedom and flexibility to get out of the daily grind. So, yeah, I mean, we all need money to be able to buy coffee and food and have shelter and, provide for our friends and families in this world. So I think kind of the first thing you need to do is figure out, like, how are you going to build that base? And if you can pick an opportunity where you can build residual income early on instead of just trading time for money, like, focus on that opportunity when you're young, and know that you have many life chapters ahead of you. Like, everyone is going to have to write some surviving chapters in life, and if you do it right, you're going to have thriving chapters in life. So just don't get stuck in that surviving chapter. Know that you're doing it for a reason so you can get to those thriving chapters in life where you're really going to find your passion and purpose. And, you and I have both been fortunate to now monetize our passions and purpose and, just be able to do what we want every single day and, exude positive energy and attract opportunities into our life.
Well, it's always a pleasure talking to you. You definitely refresh myself in wanting to be the best version of myself as often as possible. So I cherish our relationship and friendship. You're one of the real ones, dude. And thanks for just offering all the tips and your lifestyle to everyone out there on social, because you're definitely living your life to your fullest, and it really shows.
You bet. How's the remodeling project going?
Pretty dirty. It's
Yeah.
pretty dirty.
I can't wait to see it.
Man, I think we're getting foundation poured this week. So once that happens, I think things will move along a lot faster, but it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Well, let me know when you guys want to come out to Colorado.
I know. I got to make a trip to come see you. Last time, I mean, we're not going to talk about last time I came to see you, but I have to redeem myself. All right, dude. Thanks.
Always good chatting with you.
Love you, buddy. Bye.